Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is an authoritarian dictator who has just signed an executive order.
Here's proof.
Listen to this. The authoritarian madman has signed an executive order to commercialize the solar system and mine on the moon. I'm kidding. He signed an executive order, but I don't think it's, even if it was a decree, it's actually kind of cool. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's going to be fun.
It's not really surprising.
But you know what? I'm curious about moon mining. Like, what if we're gonna mine on the moon and bring that stuff back, right?
Right.
We're like reclaiming the moon. It used to be a part of Earth that got like blown off by like a collision.
Supposedly, it's actually in the air.
You know what?
They don't know exactly where the moon is formed. There's 3 different theories that they're toying with.
Why don't we just take a cable?
We could talk about that.
We should just take a cable, right? Mm-hmm. And hook it, just like hook it to a hitch on Earth, and then go up to the moon and hook it to a hitch on the moon.
You know why that wouldn't work?
We'll crank it in.
You know why that wouldn't work?
Why would that not work?
Because it would slow the rotation of Earth down to a stop, and we would stop turning.
Oh.
If we pulled the moon into Earth?
The drag of they thought about like, space elevators.
Yeah.
Or like someone wanted to do like a tether to like a satellite something, and the research showed that eventually it would affect the rotation of Earth. So if we were to hook the moon up, it would just like halt us, and we would stop spinning.
I wasn't going to say just stop. I was going to say crank it in. Once you get the cable in, you can start.
Oh, bring it closer?
Yeah, spinning the crank. And then why mine the moon? Just bring the moon here.
Well, technically, it's in a perfect orbit around us. So if it gets closer, it's actually moving further away from us, actually.
Oh, man, wrong way.
But if it were to get closer, eventually it would fall and connect with us. And that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Well,
that'd be bad.
Back to the fun. Donald Trump did, in fact, sign an executive order.
Yep.
They say, and I love when they do these narratives. Honestly, I can't stand it.
Neil
Armstrong captivated the world when he took one giant leap onto the moon's surface, moon's dusty surface in 1969. Yes, we know this. It has nothing to do with the news. President Donald Trump, who began his foray into galactic affairs when he championed the Space Force to fight extraterrestrial wars. The extraterrestrial? Do you know what terrestrial means? Are you kidding me? It would be the Mars Force, you morons. Trump did not start a space force to fight on other planets. Extraterrestrial means other planets. Who are these people?
No.
I don't know, but I don't like their article very much.
Wow.
It's a great start.
To fight extraterrestrial wars is looking for his own moon landing moment. Mm-hmm. I am angered. My nerddom is furious at their improper articulation. In the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, the White House announced Monday an executive order in which Trump calls for U.S. business interests to mine the moon. I love that that's it. It's like Trump hereby decrees by executive order, if you got a business, go mine the moon. Okay, let's get started. I'll need a rocket. A couple of them.
Yeah.
Though the order specifies that a return to the moon would allow the country to explore and exploit lunar minerals, it insinuates that the scope of this new era of commercialization would apply to the moon, Mars, and other celestial bodies. Okay, now that's extraterrestrial. Lunar development would include a search for minerals as well as water, and this would require partnerships between the U.S. government and private industry. Well, what else is new? According to the order, one of the major roadblocks holding businesses back from mining the moon is uncertainty regarding the right to recover and use space resources, including the extension of the right to commercial recovery and use of lunar resources. Trump's executive order attempts to advance the scarce legal framework that governs various nations' claims to space. Several international resolutions, such as the Moon Agreement, have been adopted over the past 50 years, but the administration, in its order, did not acknowledge the legitimacy of these.
Yeah, in 1979, there was an international treaty saying they wouldn't mine planets, and America never signed that treaty.
Good.
Weird.
They were like,
that's ridiculous.
No. And you know what? If we're gonna go, we have to mine.
Come on, it's America.
We can't. We have to figure out a way to make it self-sustaining. And if there is water somewhere, we have to get it.
Water?
I told you about that show Mars. It's really interesting how it parallels real life because it is half documentary. So it talks about a lot of this stuff, and it goes over the whole science is going to discover stuff. But then private enterprise also goes, and they're mining, and they don't care about the treaties. They're not in the treaties. And it's like this treaty that they were talking about is the countries that are in the treaty. But SpaceX can go, if they go out and land on Mars, and they can start mining. They're not part of this treaty.
Well, I think it's very likely that we're going to see colonization from private entities
Absolutely.
that no one can do anything about.
Absolutely. It's international waters out there.
So
no one owns the moon.
Well, Elon Musk
yet.
is building this really big spaceship to go to Mars.
Right.
He actually, he personally told me this.
Okay.
Yeah. Elon Musk.
Did he tell you?
Because I tweeted
Oh
at him,
yeah, I remember this.
why aren't you building an Iron Man suit? He's
Yeah.
like building Starship. But I wonder if Elon Musk does this, what will it? It won't be a country. I got to be honest, man. Companies function in a very authoritarian manner. Like
Yeah.
you can quit a company, so it's not like they're Nazis or anything. But the boss is the boss. You can't question the boss. They can kick you out. You can't do anything about it. Could you imagine being on Mars as an employee of the corporation?
And then getting fired?
Not getting fired, like you can't get fired. So they're probably gonna have rigorous testing and all that stuff.
That's a good point.
But complaining, I think I'd need more food. No. Okay.
Yeah, the company controls everything about your life because they're providing you a place to live.
Indentured servitude on
kinda
Mars.
tough.
Well, they have very strict regiments of what they eat, astronauts.
But I do think, honestly, if you volunteered to be like one of the first missions to Mars, you're probably not coming back. They're gonna treat you like a king.
I agree.
It's like you're gonna have the best of the best. Every movie, every video game.
Yeah.
Man, if I'm sure the latency is way too high. It's probably like what is the latency to Mars? Like 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
You can't play any video games with anybody.
You know, it's
Unless
really
we figure
crazy.
out better tech.
When we first went into space, astronauts were heroes. They were like, everyone was like, you're going where no one's gone before. You are champion. You are the champion human. And it's like, no one really thinks about astronauts. Like 3 astronauts flew off Earth this morning at 4 a.m. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they flew off in the Soyuz and connected with the International Space Station, and that's so cool. Like I don't know if you noticed, I'm really into space stuff. It's great, but we don't champion them the way we used to, and I feel like it might be coming around because there's a new sense that we're going to go out there. We're going to go.
You've
back.
seen Interstellar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we literally just watched this because I think it was on before we did the show.
Yeah.
And there's that scene where he goes to the school and the teacher says, we built useless machines to pretend like we were going to go places we never went. We never went to the moon, blah, 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 blah. Like that mentality is actually becoming prominent. When Elon Musk launched the car into space, a lot of people cheered. And then a bunch of activists condemned it, saying he wasted all this money. Why is he spending billions of dollars to go to space? Why isn't he helping people here? And then people had to correct them and say, you realize he didn't spend the money on the moon. He spent it on people working on the Earth to build things.
Right.
And then other people were like, you realize the purpose of sending the car into space was to make something exciting and fun that would inspire people.
Right.
So they would see this car in space, which is silly, but then it would create a moment that people would look at and be like, wow, that was when he launched the Tesla with the guy in it. And
it was also
cool.
a test payload,
Exactly.
So
exactly.
They had to put something in there, and they're not going to put a human in there. And that's actually part of the reason why we stopped doing space races, because the Challenger mission, when we lost all those astronauts, it was devastating for the public. The public didn't want people to die going into space. I mean, it's inevitable. It's space. It's not Earth.
Did you hear that the Tesla car missed?
What do you mean?
Its trajectory was off.
No, I didn't
and
know
now
that.
they're like, whoopsie. Now it's going to drift off into space and then come back in like 1,000 years or something.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was posted. I was reading an article about it where they were like, it's a good thing it wasn't a real person, because now it's like, ooh, there it goes.
And then, I mean, I retweeted. Everyone's been asking Elon to post the video of the Falcon landing.
Yeah.
And he did it. Did you see the retweet that I tweeted?
No.
Man, it's so cool. There's a video of just like attached to the side of the rocket coming back from space and landing on the platform on the water.
I've seen that.
That's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah,
Blows me away. It's so cool where we are now.
And the government couldn't get it done.
No.
When the U.S. was competing with the Soviet Union, they got a lot done.
That's true.
When the U.S. dominated with no competition, they don't got to do anything. They sit around on their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, if Elon Musk came a knocking and said, Adam, I want you to come in the rocket and be the first person on Mars.
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
No. I thought about this a lot, actually. And it's not that I don't want to go to Mars. I would like to go to Mars, but I don't know. It's an interesting question. I mean, I want to have a family here, and I want to be a part of my family. And if I know what it would take to go to Mars, and I can't do that. I can't commit to that much time.
I was reading that they actually only want to send couples.
Really?
Yeah, like one of the things I was reading about Mars mission was that
makes sense.
Researchers said it has to be couples because
it helps sanity.
Right. People will lose their minds
Yeah.
if they're isolated this way.
Mm-hmm.
And in close quarters, coupling actually works a lot better. So, and they'll end up having kids and they'll establish themselves there with their family and be less reliant on social interaction from strangers or anything like that. And so I was reading something like they actually want like 10 couples so that there's a mini community in society where people are reliant. They have their social structure. They can raise a family and be there permanently.
That's kind of neat.
And then the plan would be to slowly send supplies there, not leave.
You should see the show Mars. It's really cool.
Why aren't we doing this? Where's Elon Musk? Someone give me Elon's phone number. I'm going to call him and
happening.
say, Elon,
this is happening. You know, this whole thing that he just did, that Trump just did, is because we need to be able to mine the moon when we set up the base there, which is what the Artemis program is, which is happening.
When did Artemis start?
I think it started last year when he announced it. But I'm not certain. But I know that their plan was to be on the moon by 2024. Now it's been pushed back because of COVID. So now it's going to be 2029.
Oh, what?
I know, yeah.
Where's that virus? I'm going to go show them what for.
Yeah, please do. Would you please?
Clogging up our system for 5 years?
Right?
No, right?
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, so we're going to get to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to build like a moon port.
Yep.
And then we're going to use that as a launching base to go to Mars. Makes a lot of sense.
That's the plan.
I wonder what's on the moon? Is there anything there that we could use for refining a fuel of some sort?
They say that in the dust particles they've found stuff that they can use. I don't have it pulled up right now, but yeah, there is stuff out there. I'm pretty sure there's ice somewhere on the moon.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
All we
I
got to
look into it.
Is invent replicators.
Man, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, you need tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Yep.
Boom. A gallon of gas. There you go. Now you can go drive your car around. Dude, I'm stoked. I mean, it's cool that we're going to see this in our lifetimes. We're probably going to be old dudes watching, in the virtual neural link or whatever is out by then. Oh, maybe we'll get it. Maybe we can download the experience package.
Like Total Recall?
Yeah. Like I was actually thinking about Neuralink. Like if somebody's got a Neuralink in their brain and it's recording their experience and they go to the Mars, right? And then they transmit the experience data. It's like, a 50 terabyte file or something.
Mm-hmm.
They transmit it back to Earth and you can download it for like $20 and get the I'm going to Mars experience. And you just connect and then you like experience everything, what they felt, what they saw.
Total Recall.
Yeah, dude. But like
you've seen that movie, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The original one, Going to Mars.
People are popping up in the chat with helium-3 is on the moon.
And they can use that as a fuel?
Yeah, it's a
interesting.
There's
fuel.
a bunch of stuff on the moon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat.
According to Futurama, there were whalers on the moon, in case you didn't know this.
I did
yes,
not
they
know
carry a
this.
harpoon.
We're whalers on the moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
That song popped in my head.
Yeah,
I know what
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then I love it when they show the honeymooners, and he's like, one of these days, bang, zoom, straight to the moon.
Yeah.
And then Fry's like, Leela goes, I didn't know your astronauts were so fat. He's like, that's not an astronaut. And he wasn't talking about going to the moon. He was using space travel as a metaphor for beating his wife.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Basically.
Terrible.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.